First time fishing and already got a bite? 10 beginner-friendly tips to get you hooked on fishing. Fishing might look easy, but for beginners, everything from casting to landing, a fish can feel overwhelming. Don't worry if you follow these 10 simple tips. Even your very first trip can bring the joy of a tug on the line. 1. Use the right gear. It's half the battle. Start with a versatile rod about 14 to 18 feet long, with a medium light action. Match it with a 1.0 mainline and a 0.6 leader. Use small hooks for species like sunfish, crappie, or small carp. For your float, pick a slim, teardrop-shaped model that supports around 1.5 grams of weight. A bright tip is best for visibility. Remember, rods that are too stiff lose fish isolate, and thick lines spook them. Start simple, you can upgrade later. 2. Don't chase deep water. Look for the fish zone. You don't need to cast to the middle of the lake. Fish often gather along depth transitions, near reeds, or by sunken logs. Look for gentle slopes along the bank. Casting 10 to 15 feet out is usually ideal. Before setting up, observe. Do you see ripples, bubbles, or darting minnows near the vegetation? These are signs you're in the right place. 3. Keep bait simple. Worms or dough work wonders. For pond or lake fishing, nothing beats a lively worm. Thread it onto the hook from the head, leaving the tail wriggling. If using dough bait, mix it with water until it's about the consistency of your earlobe. Then mold it to the size of a soybean on the hook. Pinch firmly to prevent it from flying off during the cast. Don't overthink bait. What matters most is that it stays on the hook and dissolves slowly. 4. Cast smooth, not strong. Accuracy beats distance. Hold the rod in your dominant hand and gently pinch the line with the other. Swing the rod back slowly and let the rod tip do the work. Flick the bait forward like you're tossing a paper airplane. Aim for a landing zone no bigger than a dinner plate. If you're always missing your target, try shortening your leader to about 6 to 8 inches or adding a bit more weight. 5. Float setup. 101. Set it to 4. Fish at 2. Here's a simple method. Attach your float. Then trim your sinker until the float shows for marks above water with no bait. Then, add bait and slide the float slightly to expose only to marks. This setup ensures one hook rests on the bottom, while the other hovers just above eye. Perfect for cautious fish. Push your line slightly under the surface so wind and waves don't create false signals. 6. Watch the float. Look for that sharp pull. A float that drifts or dances slightly is likely reacting to small fish or current. Real bites look different. A sudden dip of 1 to 2 marks or a strong upward lift, these are the golden moments. When you see them, stay calm and prepare to strike. 7. Hook the fish. Think knock on a door. When the float signals a bite, don't yank the rod violently. Instead, flick your wrist upward about 30 degrees, just like knocking gently on a door. Let the rod tip set the hook with its natural flex. If you feel weight, tilt the rod to the left or right to avoid the fish charging straight out. Most beginners lose fish by pulling too hard or in the wrong direction. 8. Don't tug a war. Play the fish smart. If you've hooked a decent-sized fish, resist the urge to force it in. Lower the rod, tip even, submerge it slightly and let the fish run. Stay calm and follow its movements. Once it tires, lift the rod gently and begin reeling. Keep the rod bent to maintain tension. And if your drag starts screaming, it might be a monster. Don't be afraid to let it go. Better than snapping your line. 9. Net it from below. Don't chase the fish when the fish is close. Dip your net under the surface and wait. Once the fish's head is over the net, scoop upward in one smooth motion. Never swat at it from above. That's a recipe for disaster. And don't try to lift struggling fish by the line. The fine leader will snap in a heartbeat. For small fish, you can flip them gently onto the bank. 10. Check your gear before packing up. Before calling it a day, take a minute to inspect your line. Is the hook dull? Is the leader frayed? Are there knots in your main line? Fixing these issues now saves heartbreak on your next trip. You never know when a trophy fish might bite. Final tip. Don't obsess over the catch. Enjoy the experience. Your first fishing trip isn't about hauling in a cooler full of fish. It's about slowing down, tuning into nature, and maybe landing that first wriggling little sunfish. Bring a stool, wear a hat, brew some tea, 'cause the best part of fishing is simply being there. Line and water, heart at peace. About the author, I am a fishing enthusiast and content creator who loves sharing practical tips for beginners and fellow anglers alike. Follow me for more easy-to-follow fishing advice and stories from the bank. If you found this helpful, drop a like, save for later, and subscribe so you won't miss the next cast.